Mm. Hey everybody, hope y'all have a good night. I'm going to do this contest, and if you enjoy this, hit the like button and all this, and the subscribe button and all that stuff. I usually try to do it every week, so yeah. Everybody, it's I guess Saturday night, Sunday-ish, 1 a.m. The contest already happened. I already kind of, well, I mean, you could see the result here because there's no way for me to hide it, but I am going to try to do the virtual contest of 166. It just started, or it ended about a couple of hours ago. I was out. So, yeah, so wish me luck. Oh, I have to click here. Okay. And, okay, let's go. Yeah, open up the 4 problems real quick. Yeah, I mean, I think this is the fastest I've read a problem ever, because the name, I mean, I actually didn't read this before opening the contest, like the titles, because sometimes they give them away a little bit too much, and in this case, it clearly, yeah. And now that I look at the, yeah, so it's just kind of do what the problem tells you. You break the number down to digits, and then you sum them and find this what it's called, yeah, the sum of it. And then I did this way, and I would say, um, now that I look at the problem name and the class name, I wish I did it, but I think I just, when you look at the problem, it said find the difference between A and B. So that's what I did by accident. But yeah, and also clearly I'm a little rusty. I just got in, so I had a little minor silliness over there. But that cost me a little bit of time, but not a big deal. But yeah, but I don't know. I think some of that is that when you, because I know ahead of time that everyone finishes in 10, oh, not everyone, but like the good people finish 10 minutes. I was rushing myself. So I was like, okay, this looks good. Let's submit it. And I got wrong answer. I got negative answer. And that's when I'm like unhappy about the negative answer, because I was like, oh, I'll find the difference between the product. So like, I mean, I know I actually didn't look at the title of this number, or this problem. I just look at the problem statement, and technically what I wrote is true. So I think that's a little bit of like a weird thing. I guess it's a good thing I didn't do this. And also, I submitted again because I was a little bit on tilt. I think on a real contest, I might have to take an extra second to get it right, but that's why I got an extra 5 minutes. Whoops. But it's a virtual contest, so I was focusing on speed and just trying to see how fast I could get everything necessary. So I mean, obviously, you still should minimize the number of submissions even in practice. But I was just like, yeah, people got this in 10 minutes. Let me try to do more. Anyway, on problem 2, the biggest thing that I spent time on, and so you didn't really miss me commentary on it, commentate on it, is that I just have a lot of issues reading this and understanding the input. Because when I'm on a contest, which maybe is a bad, it's okay for really fast contests, like, and LeetCode tends to run a little fast. And it's that sometimes I read like a little bit and then I look at the inputs to kind of see what they're going for. But in this case, it was very hard to do that. It was very hard to understand what group size is. And it's not very hard. It's just I didn't read the problem, right? So, but as soon as I did that, I was like, okay, how do I solve this? And it seems like that you know, there are many solutions. As soon as I read it, I was like, okay, you just have to group them together, right? And there's no wrong way really, as long as they're in groups of 3. So as long as you do things in a reasonably fast manner, it should be okay. There's only 500, so you could do stuff even in 500 square. Technically, I did stuff in linear time because everything only occurs once, but not in theory. I could have done it in linear time, but in theory, that's not what I did, only because a list in Python taking stuff off the beginning of the list is over n or something like that, right? So, but in theory, if I spend a little extra time because n is bigger, you could get that down to O of n easily with using like an actual, like in Python it'll be a deck, but something like that. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to formulate here. I got this relatively quickly. I mean, it was a very short contest. It was like a group. I mean, getting everything in half an hour. Like you need to get everything in half an hour in this contest to be top 100. So that's already a very tricky or a very fast contest anyway. Here I'm just like double check. Like I think I thought about the greedy algorithm, which is what I did, and then I am trying to look it up. Actually, at this point, I was like, okay, there's actually like a Python iter tools that library that does it for you, and maybe in the code review when I look at other people's code, I would kind of find out the shorter way to do this. But I was like, I couldn't find it, so I'm just gonna do something like that where I take the first k elements for a group size of k, and then just keep on doing it. Though I had some confusion, and I write dot size because too many different languages. But yeah, otherwise, yeah. So the short answer is just greedy, and it's not even because there any answer is okay, right? So it's just like as long as you put in a good price is okay, and you could even put it in the pen where like. Actually, now that I think about it, like if while you're penning, if the size of that thing is whatever, then you could put it in the results and then pop it or something like that. It's not a big deal. And I got it right the first time, though. Did check it just in case. That's right. Still, command enter not necessary. Okay, find the smallest divisor given a threshold. Again, this is another problem where there's a lot of words and a lot of not really. It's just for a fast contest, it feels that way, right? There are words, there are like keywords and definitions, and yeah, but otherwise it's not too bad. I explain this a little bit in the future, so no spoiler alert. But I think at this point I'm just still reading because I wasn't sure about all the definitions. Maybe I need to be a little bit more patient. It seems like what's his name? AWI finished it in or AWICE? I actually don't know. But anyway, finished it in like 1 minute, and I spent a minute just reading, right? So, but yeah, after yeah.
Device is just one.
Yeah, I was still reading this one. The sort is actually not necessary actually in this one, but generally when I see like an input list and if the order doesn't matter, and if the timing doesn't matter that much, I usually sort it. And actually, I probably should have taken it out. I just didn't really think about it, to be honest. And here is a little bit of a critical error that thankfully the system test or the example test case caught it. But yeah, where you could get, or I did it, you could divide by 0 by accident because when I'm doing binary search. But yeah, but I think at this I was just reading it just to make sure that I got the directions the right place. I think I reread it now. But in general, I was like, okay, because I think I just took a long time to actually understand the problem. But once I did, I was like, okay, this is a binary search problem. Well, I think I look at the constraint a little bit just to make sure that I can't do it linearly. And because there are 50,000 elements, and each number can be up to 100,000. I was like, okay, it's probably binary search. And then I kind of thought a little bit about the property, and which is that, it as for binary search, certain things are true up to a point, and then it becomes untrue, or the other way around. And I take advantage of that, and then I this is just also the template binary code, and then I write, and then I have to write this from. Write the function, which is the straightforward definition that they give you, even, which is the sum of the divided number or something like that. What I forget what they call it. It's not a divisor, right? But it's a dividend. And I use a little fancy for comprehension, even though I probably didn't need to. But as good as a time to practice. And this is a trick to get the ceiling. It's not a trick really, but it's something that you see enough, so it's definitely be familiar with that. But I think this is it. Oh, well, except for the head tail 0 thing, so I'm glad that I double check. That would have been a very silly 5 minutes penalty, but I guess I already had a silly 15-minute or 5-minute penalty. But I was like, whoops. I'm really glad that happened, because that could have been easily not the case. Right? Like that, I could have failed on it. So yeah, that looks good. I double checked that the answer is what their answers are, and I felt confident about it. And then I submit. Cool. And then now this last problem, I actually explained this in the post contest a little bit in more detail. But this is a known problem to me. I just wanted to check. I don't know. I mean, I just
one before.
This is a very known problem. Yeah, he just mentioned it. This is a very known problem, very straightforward problem. There are a couple of ways to do it. I mentioned it at the end. So click on a link somewhere, and it'll take you there. So I code this immediately. But you could actually even do it in brute force. But yeah, I don't think I have any big thoughts here. I just had to code it up and making sure that I was right on the boundaries. But overall, very fast contest. Would have finished in the top 20 or 25 or something. I don't remember the numbers, but I had 10 extra minutes, which actually puts me in 90th or something like that instead. But it's a weird contest. But again, it's a virtual contest. So I don't really. It is what it is. It's fine. It's not a big deal. But yeah. But that's my process. Hope to see y'all later. Yeah.
122. I'm also doing that wrong. Okay, so how did I do? 19 minutes. Well, because two stupid minutes, but a lot of people quit it faster. But you know, anytime you finish the contest in 20 minutes, I'm gonna be okay with that. It could have been faster. There's a lot of typing. Man. Yeah, I mean, some of this is a virtual contest, so I definitely watched it a little bit. But I don't know. I don't feel that bad about it. I think maybe some of it is just reading. Let's just go over the problems. I mean, I think I had 2 incorrect attempts, but I don't really feel that bad about it. One of them, I think the second one was a tilt, though. I was just tilted in rushing it. Some of that is because I knew that people finish in 10 minutes. So I think in a real contest, I usually slow down. So I wouldn't say that I would take away 10 minutes, but maybe not, full time. Because this could be interpreted both ways. I wish they just gave one example where it was negative, because that shouldn't be a gotcha, right? Because the difference between, like, I get that obviously in mathematical sense, the difference between A and B is just A minus B, but in in English, the difference between two numbers, like it really varies depending on who you're talking to. So I wish they just have clarification. It's not that hard. That shouldn't be a gotcha. I hope no one. I really hope that, for example, Yuri didn't spend 5 minutes because of that, silly mistake. I don't know what the silly mistake is, but there are not that many possibility for silly mistakes, to be honest, with that problem. So I hope people didn't really get, screwed by it. I did once, and then I just didn't look at it again, to be honest. I was just on tilt that I submitted again, even though I had the signs in the wrong order. So it was always going to be wrong. I just didn't even run it. But I mean, it's a virtual contest, so I don't really put that much weight in it. I was just trying to practice my speed a little bit. But if you want to know, I mean, this is a very straightforward solving thing, in the sense that you just break down the digits, and then you get the product, which is just multiplying all of them, and then you sum the digits, and then you take the difference, right? Pretty rudimentary stuff. You could even convert it to a string if that's easier for you. But I just did it digit by digit by modding by 10 and so forth. Yeah. So that's problem 1. Problem 2, yeah, I mean, it took me a little bit of a while to read this, just reading in general. So that took me about 4 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I think I just didn't really understand it, but because you could have any solution, any order, and that there's always one solution, I took advantage of just grouping the group sizes together by the indexes, and then once you have them, then you could just pretty much group them in any way you want, because they're guaranteed to be an answer. So that's how I did it. I was trying to think of doing it in a fast, clever way, but I think it's not, for this problem, it's not super necessary. I just kind of, for each key side, like you go through the keys and in a hash table, and if the key is X for some X, that means you just take every X groups to be the same group, right? And then you just put it together, and or I'll put it in some order. It doesn't really matter which one, it seems like. So yeah, I just keep on taking things off. Yeah, relatively straightforward. It's a little bit. For me, I had a little issues of kind of just reading the input, but otherwise it was straightforward. So that was like 4 minutes. Man, I'm trying to get. I was definitely focused on speed because this is a virtual contest. And even man, on my fastest speed, I couldn't even come close. So I don't know. Let's see. The 10-minute penalty hurt, but it was just a silly gotcha, though. I really do think that's. I don't know. Like you shouldn't have a silly gotcha on the easy, but it is what it is. And luckily, I didn't get bitten by that time, but because I would be probably pretty sad if I could finish top 20 but then I didn't because in a real contest that happened. But as a virtual contest, I don't care about it that much. Find the smallest device given a threshold. I think how long did I take on this one? 5 minutes. I actually, well, and again, this is another problem that I had to read a couple of times. But once I got it, I mean, it's very, yeah. I mean, I think you just, my daughter was just doing a binary search, because, you know that, you have some boundary. Yeah, you have some boundary, and then it goes from something being true, and then or the other way around actually in this case, but either that or inverse of it, something being false, and then it cuts off at a point, and then it being and then after that is true the entire way. So then that's a easy thing to binary search about, and this is always going to be true because the bigger your divisor, you're just going to get smaller numbers, right? So it's good. So you always want something really big, but you want to get something that's just under it. And I just did a binary search, a couple of minutes, not too bad. And that was 11 minutes in, and people rarely finished it. But yeah, 10 minutes plus like 30 seconds, maybe. But in a real contest, I probably would have took my time a little bit longer. So yeah. The hard one, the 900 successful submits. So this is a pretty fast contest. But for this one, I mean, actually, there's only 9 outputs, so you can actually do. And I guess in retrospect, you could have even just do a 2 to the 9 algorithm, and 2 to the 9 is like less than 1,000, right? So you just press all that, and then you just count. I bet you actually that's way faster to type than what I did, kind of. Yeah, I mean, it definitely would have been faster to type, but not by that much. I probably just added like one for loop in what I had to do as a result. But yeah, but I think the brute force way, which is probably why it has 924 accepted. The 2 to the 9 is just press a button at every spot, right? I think that's so you just have to be fast at coding that, and you could be pretty fast at coding that because that's just straightforward. And then the other one is the way that I did it, and that's something that is kind of forced, is that you can actually brute force on the first column of the matrix. So in this case, it'll be 2 to the third, which is 8 at most. Or, I mean, in theory, you can actually just take the minimum of m and n because it's not a square matrix. But either way, 2 to the third in the worst case in this case. And the reason why you could do that is, and then you press the first row brute force, and then the reason is because then you go to the second row, you force your, because you have, like, if you're the row above you, if that light is a 1, then you have to press this button, the current button, to turn it off, turn the previous row's light off. So you have to do it. And also I think this problem is called lights out or lights off. I think it's lights out. That's a popular game, and this is a known-ish problem. I mean, I think it for the purpose of this contest and this constraint, it's not a big deal because it's 2 to the 9 anyway. So like, like you just brute force emulate everything. So I don't know, but in general, even that case is known. And also in the more general case, so you could do the 2 to the n, where n is one, where n is either the rows or the columns, but you could actually convert it to like a set of linear equations, and then use like one of the reduced row echelon form type formulas to kind of solve it. But that's really high powered, and I don't know, that may be a little bit too much, but yeah, pretty straightforward contest in general. I think if I was actually in this contest, I would be really sad that I have 2 minutes here, or 2 incorrect submits here. But one of them I was just being tilty, and the other one I feel like it's maybe you could blame it on the wording of the problem. It's just give us one example. That didn't need to be a gotcha, but yeah, cool. And there's no easy way to end this contest. I think without to like do code review. Man, oh no. And that's kind of tough because I mean this is just weird. I think they just okay. Yeah, and this is kind of rough because that 10 minutes put me instead of 23rd, would have put me on 90th. Wow, wow. And also even just the 5 minutes would have put me out of top 50. But yeah, it's a relatively simple contest as a result of the Q4 being very brute forceable. We do hope they get slightly harder, not too hard, but at least but yeah, I think when the time runs out is when I could do a code review of other people's code, so it's kind of weird. All right, cool. Code review just to see, learning and stuff like this. People did it really fast, as you can see, especially A Rice did it in 8 minutes, but got one submission error. Wonder what these submission error are. Like UE is usually pretty good, but that one submission error costs from like top 10 to whatever. Yeah, let's take a quick look. I did finish 90th, by the way, but it doesn't show up anymore. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, this seems about right. I mean, there are not that many things you can do with this one. I think it's just reading the problem correctly is a big one. Not sure if there's any tricky things. 44 seconds is ridiculous, though. I guess this is... Oh, yeah. Actually, I was saying this earlier, where you could convert it to a string and then just do it. Kind of. But... When you're good at these things, then it's... but yeah, you could just do it this way and it'll still be the same. It's a little weird, but do it the other way. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's a straightforward one, so I'm going to move ahead. Yeah, this is all. So you could actually have done it. I mean, that's what I was making about my code, which I didn't do when I was coding it. But you could have done it here. Just check if it's equal to X, then you could pop it, and when you do it. But otherwise, this is the same. Same as my code, give or take, in concept. Or did it way faster in 3 minutes instead. Yeah, same idea. Yeah, again, I guess there are not that many variations. This is what I was talking about with maybe. Well, they did it while that's happening, but yeah, that was roughly what I was talking about with doing it on the fly. But still not a big deal. Okay, problem 3. Let's see. I mean, binary search is pretty. I wonder where he made that error. But when you go for things to finish in 40 seconds, I guess there are more chances. Yeah, sounds about right. I mean, it's just binary search, right? Like, I guess there are not actually that many variations on binary search. Yeah. I mean, the one that I'm interested at the most is the last one. So let's take a look.
Wow. What am I looking? Oh, that first search. What is the depth first search on? Just clicking this button and then not clicking this. Stage one stage. Yeah, pressing a button and then not pressing a button and then just keep going. Okay, I mean, here's a small enough thing. I have to understand what this is first. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just doing 2 to the 9. This is good. This is something I could learn about, but yeah, just 2 to the max 2 to the 9 type thing. Yeah, and then just brute force on every button. Sounds like. Again, 2 to the 9 brute force. Let's see. Also 2 to the 9 brute force. I guess that's what I should have done. I mean, I was that slow, so I think that's fine. It's just, it is what it is. I mean, just when you look at the top people, they're always going to yeah, small differences. Compounds. I mean, like the difference is 7 minutes per se from me and him, but that's just like a few things here and there. Like 2 minutes on this. Wow. I mean, I guess it's binary search. It took me 2 minutes to read the poem. I need to get better at reading, maybe. Maybe that's my postmortem. And also, I don't know, a lot of people whom maybe they're just on the first page. There are definitely a few people who got the first, who got a error on the first one. So I don't know. It's weird. Cool. That's what I have. If you enjoyed this, hit this like and the subscribe button and all that stuff. Until then, see you next contest.